Hey friends, it's not quite 2:30 in the morning, and I'm here at Newark Penn Station. Just got off a local transit bus from the airport. I'll tell you the story in a minute, but we're heading to Manhattan and then out to Queens, and we'll see how long it will take us. Our first job is to take the PATH train. And I don't usually come in this entrance. I want to get over there. That's where the PATH train is. I have to go back down to the street. Oh, this is crazy. I took the wrong staircase up, so I just missed the train. Okay. That's where I wanted to come up there. This is what I wanted. Okay, I see a train there. Okay, this train's going to World Trade Center. Not sure what time it's leaving. Okay. This train's going to World Trade Center. And what I'll do is I'll get off at, I guess, Journal Square and get a train up to 6th Avenue. And then I'll get the subway there. So these trains run 24/7. And I'm not sure what time this train's leaving, but we'll just play it by ear. So this is what happened. I
stand clear
had
of the closing doors.
Four flights canceled today, coming up from South Carolina to my first flight was to JFK. JetBlue, that was canceled, and I got a Spirit, I believe, to Newark. That was canceled, and I had a Delta. Had two Deltas. The first one was canceled. Let's put on the second one. There was no room, so I was going to go standby. But I was number 25 out of 32 or 33. Then I got a United flight from Charleston, South Carolina to Newark. And
stand clear of the closing door.
it was supposed to get in, I think, around 11, but we got in about a little after 1. Then there was trouble with the sky bridge connecting the terminal to the train, so we spent another like 20 to 30 minutes trying to deboard. And so by then, my original plan was to take New Jersey Transit from the station, from the airport right to Penn Station, and then just transfer the subway. Kind of easy peasy. But by the time we exited the plane, the last train had left the Newark Airport train station, the commuter train. I missed it by a good bit, because I would have had to take the monorail over to the train station. So I ended up, I was going to take an Uber to Grand Central. And not only was it expensive, there was a ton of people there. It was very chaotic. I saw a local bus come by.
This stop is Harrison.
Heading to heading to New York Penn Station. So I just jumped on it, and it was pretty crowded. The driver just waved me on, didn't charge me a fare.
This is the train to World Trade Center. The next stop is Journal Square.
Stand clear of the closing door. Stand clear of the closing doors.
To get on this New Jersey Transit bus, and it was an old school high floor bus, which are kind of cool, like for heritage type rides. but there was also 3 wheelchairs on board. So before we got to Penn Station, the wheelchair folks had to get off using the old school lift, the front staircase. It took quite a while to get 3 people in their wheelchairs off the bus and onto the sidewalk. So we finally got to Penn Station, and it's where most of the people got off. And then I went to the wrong platform initially, but I was able to get on this train and didn't have to wait too long. So now we're heading in to Jersey. We just left Harrison. We're going to be in Jersey City. I know I have to change this at some point to get to 33rd Street in Hoboken. Normally I could do it at Journal Square, but during the night it might be a little bit different. And I'm going to take a look at the map. Get off at Journal Square, the next stop, and wait for a train to 33rd Street. And from there I'll just walk a few blocks and get the 7 train, subway train to Queens. Usually an interesting ride. I can't really see where we are. I can't see anything out the windows.
Attention passengers, we're being held here momentarily. I think a train's crossing over in front of us. We should be moving shortly.
This stop is Journal Square. Change here for the train to Hoboken and 33rd Street, across the platform.
Alrighty, friends, we're here at Journal Square. We're gonna head over to Hoboken and to 33rd Street. It's gonna be a bit of a ride. Alright, friends, have to be kind of low key here, not really supposed to film on the PATH trains. We're just along for the ride. We'll be first we'll go to Hoboken, New Jersey City, and then we'll head under the Hudson River into Manhattan and up to 33rd Street, and we'll get out there, and then we'll walk up to get the subway. So it's going to be quiet, so if you want to skip ahead, feel free. Thanks so much just for watching this far. We had a little delay outside of Journal Square, so hopefully this will be a nice quiet ride.
Me dijo eres mi princesa, revisé el celular y era un el mundo de Disney. Hasta Fiona, hasta la capibara estaba ahí metida. Ay no, el hombre no servía para nada. Me dijo. La verdad es que yo con tus no puedo llamar a alguien, pero fácil y sencillo. Que te quede claro, si no, no te lo digo. Bienaventurado al que yo le responda los mensajes, le dé un beso fuerte a pedacito. Porque de verdad, a mí no me gusta estar con nadie. Bienaventurado y dichoso que le guste.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are being held momentarily by the train's dispatcher. Please be patient.
This is the train to 33rd Street.
Stand clear of the closing door. Stand clear of the closing doors.
This stop is Hoboken.
Hey friends, it's a little after 3. Our next stop will be in Manhattan.
This is the train to 33rd Street. The next stop is Christopher Street.
We're going to be reversing direction out of Hoboken and then into the tunnel under the Hudson River and then up 6th Avenue up to 33rd Street in Manhattan. It's 3:04. We're 41 minutes into the trip since I got off the bus at Newark Penn Station.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
of the Hudson River right now.
Street. This is the train to 33rd Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
station. I don't know if it's being closed down or if it's just taken out of service late at night. The next station will be 14th Street, which is only 5 blocks away. It will be under 6th Avenue at 14th Street, and we'll just head up to 33rd Street, which is about a mile. We'll make one intermediate stop at 23rd Street, and that will complete this portion of the trip.
This is the train to 33rd Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
This is 23rd Street. We're not stopping here either.
This stop is 33rd Street.
This is the last stop for this train. Thank you for riding PATH.
Alrighty, friends, it took us almost an hour to go from Penn Station, Newark to 33rd Street, Manhattan. 57 minutes. It also took me about 25 to 30 minutes to ride the bus from Newark Airport to Penn Station in Newark. It's not a long distance, but as I mentioned earlier, we had 3 wheelchairs on the bus, and it was an old school bus that had the high floor. which they give a great ride, and I like them, but they're more like for heritage. So I'm going to exit the station here, and we're going to take a walk up to Times Square and get the 7 train. There's also subway here. But at this hour, a lot of the trains are only 20 minutes, so rather than ride the train one stop and then transfer, might have to wait 20 minutes for each train. I'll just take a walk, and the air is nice. It's a beautiful night out. Okay, this park is closed, so let me cross the street here. This is Greeley Park.
Where did you get this? Upper East Side. It's called Spirit Halloween.
So my camera's a little fuzzy. I'm just going to clean it quickly. Okay, is that better? Not really. So it is officially Halloween, and there's a few people out in costumes tonight. I mean, it is pretty late. So we're gonna head up Broadway. We're crossing 34th Street, and this is Herald Square, and we have Macy's. And they're getting ready for Christmas. Wow, not quite Halloween. They have the wreaths up on the 34th Street side. That's the front of it. Food cart's still doing business. There's a bit of Times Square ahead. This camera's really not picking it up very well at all. I wonder what's going on here. I don't know if maybe I'm having a memory issue on my phone. It's a little better here. The iconic steam from the steam system in this part of the city. Okay, we are at 41st Street. Right ahead is 42nd Street. I'm gonna cut down here and get the subway. There's a little bit of a shot of Times Square. The phone's not doing too good tonight. Yeah. See how long we have to wait for our train. Get a 7 train to Queens. Hudson yards bound train coming in 3 minutes. And let's see. It's 3:34. We have a train coming in 18 minutes. So friends, I can't make you wait 18 minutes with me, so I'm just gonna give a little recap of what we did, give you like a little time frame. Because of the terrible weather in the New York area today, a lot of the flights were canceled. Also, we have the ongoing situation at Newark Liberty Airport, Newark. They're short some air traffic controllers, and I think there's some construction going on, so they had to limit the number of flights in and out of Newark. That caused additional delays, but the main delays today was the weather. All airlines were affected. JetBlue canceled flights, Spirit, Delta, and I was able to come up on a United, a very late United. And ironically, yesterday I was thinking of taking the train from Charleston, South Carolina to New York. There's a day train, a morning train that leaves about 9:15 from Charlotte, arrives New York at 11. I would have been much better off taking that than today. But things happen, and I get to spend a little more time with the family, so that was a plus. But yeah, the train would have actually, today, for once, the train would have actually been faster than flying. There's also an evening train or a night train from Charleston that gets in, it leaves at about 9:30 in the evening and arrives about 11 a.m. So I definitely beat that one. I got about 18 minutes and then just a short ride, maybe a 10-15 minute ride. Here comes the train to Hudson Yards, which is one stop away, down at 34th Street and 10th Avenue, between 10th and 11th Avenue. So now the trains are running about every 22 minutes. I thought at this hour they were like 3 times an hour. But according to this countdown clock, the next one's going to be in 22 minutes. So anyways, I digress. So getting into Newark, we took off from Charleston late. We landed late, and then we had a delay with the jetway connecting to the plane. And I guess it's, first I kind of wanted to blame it on the pilot, but that spot is a little difficult. It's at the very end of the terminal, and I think it was really designed maybe for smaller planes. He said it was a little bit of a dog leg. They couldn't line it up, and they had to move the plane. They moved the plane, and then it still wasn't working. They had to get a couple more men out there to remedy the situation, and finally we get off. So by then it was too late to catch the New Jersey Transit commuter train from Newark Airport right to Penn Station, which would have been ideal. But I missed it by, it's hard to say because I would have had allowed time to take the monorail from, I think I came in Terminal C to the train station. I don't know how often the monorail runs, at 1:30 in the morning, 1:45. So anyways, I was going to take an Uber, and it would have been about $120, and I would have done it, taken it from there to Grand Central and just got on the subway there. But it was very chaotic. I wasn't sure where to go, and while I was looking around, scoping the situation out, saw a New Jersey Transit bus heading to Newark Penn Station. And I knew I could get the PATH train there because the PATH trains, like New York City subway, run 24/7, and that's what I did. And when I got off the bus at Newark, it took me almost an hour to get into Manhattan, and we have a short walk up here, maybe a 10-minute walk, and now I'm just waiting for the 7 train. So friends, I'm going to end the video. Thank you for watching all of it, or any of it, or part of it, however you see fit. I know that there's some dead parts where the train was stopped waiting for the one of the PATH trains was crossing over onto our track, and we had to wait for it to slide by us, which it did, or it was on our track, and it had to get off and slide by us, and that was a good 5-minute delay. Of course, going into Hoboken, and the engineer and conductor have to change ends of the train. That's a little bit of delay, but that was pretty efficient. So from Newark Airport to Manhattan via transit bus and PATH train, about an hour and a half. So sometimes in traffic, you're not even you're not going to do that, and it costs me I think $3. Anyways, friends, thanks for watching. Stay safe, have a great upcoming weekend, and thank you again, and God bless.